Have you ever watched someone in their 90s bend down to tie their shoes and wondered how they still move like that? Or maybe you've noticed how some older adults seem to glide through their days, while others struggle with every step, every chair, every staircase? I'm Dr. Naira, and after years of studying how people maintain strength and independence as they age, I've learned that the difference often isn't about how much they exercise. It's about what kind of movement they do. What I'm about to share comes from one of the most remarkable places on earth for healthy aging, and it might completely change how you think about staying strong. In Okinawa, Japan, there are more people living past 100 than almost anywhere else in the world. When scientists first traveled there, they expected to find these elders doing intense workouts, lifting weights, maybe following some rigorous fitness routine. What they found instead was completely unexpected. These centenarians had never done a single push-up, never lifted a weight, never counted reps, yet they could still bend down to tend their gardens. They could climb stairs without grabbing railings. They could get up from the floor without help. What were they doing? Hey, we're holding positions, not moving, just holding. This practice is called isometric exercise, and it works by creating tension in your muscles without any movement at all. You simply hold a position and let that tension do the work. A groundbreaking study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed over 15,000 participants and found that isometric exercises reduced blood pressure more effectively than any other form of exercise, better than running, swimming, or cycling. But the benefits go far beyond blood pressure. Researchers at Kyoto University discovered that holding positions increases what they call time under tension, the total amount of time your muscles spend working. When you do a regular squat, your muscles work for maybe 2 seconds going down and 2 coming up. But when you hold an isometric position, your muscles can work for 30, 60, even 90 seconds straight. This builds what scientists call functional strength, the kind you actually use in daily life, the kind that helps you carry groceries, open jars, and catch yourself when you stumble. I'm going to share 5 specific isometric holds that Japanese elders have been practicing for generations. These aren't complicated yoga poses or dangerous flexibility tests. They're simple positions anyone can hold, regardless of age or fitness level. And when we get to number 1, you'll understand why researchers at Tokyo University called it the single most effective movement for longevity. Their study found that people who practiced this daily had a 63% lower risk of falls. 63%. That number alone should make you want to stay until the end. Hold 5. The seated wall press. Most people have never heard of this, but it's been practiced in Japanese wellness centers for over 200 years. This hold targets your entire upper back, your shoulders, and the muscles around your spine. The concept is beautifully simple. You sit with your back against a wall and press your arms backward into the surface behind you. No movement, no reps, just press and hold. A study from Osaka University followed 120 adults over 70 who practiced this daily for 8 weeks. The results were remarkable: 31% improvement in upper back strength and 24% reduction in shoulder pain. The researchers noted this single exercise helped correct the forward head posture that makes so many older adults look hunched and aged. Here's how to do it properly. Find a sturdy wall and sit down with your entire back touching the surface. Your knees should be bent comfortably with feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Place your arms at your sides with elbows bent at 90 degrees. Your forearms should point toward the ceiling, palms facing forward. Now simply press your elbows, upper arms, and the back of your head into the wall. You're not trying to move anything. You're creating tension by pushing against something that won't move. Hold this for 20 seconds when you first start. Breathe normally throughout. Don't hold your breath, as that can spike your blood pressure. After 20 seconds, release completely and rest for 10 seconds. Then repeat 2 more times. As you get stronger over the coming weeks, gradually increase to 30 seconds. Then eventually 45. Japanese practitioners recommend doing this first thing in the morning. It helps activate your postural muscles for the entire day ahead. Many also practice it in the evening to release accumulated tension. This works so well because it targets the muscles between your shoulder blades that tend to weaken as we age. When these weaken, your shoulders round forward, your head juts out, and you develop that hunched appearance that makes people look decades older than they are. By strengthening these muscles this way, you're teaching your body to hold itself upright without conscious effort. There's another benefit too. When your upper back is strong and your posture correct, your lungs have more room to expand. Research found that improved posture increased lung capacity by up to 18% in older adults. That means more oxygen reaching your brain, your muscles, every cell in your body. Hold 4, the standing hip anchor. The fourth hold targets what Japanese practitioners call the foundation of the body, your hips. This is crucial because research from the National Institute on Aging found that hip weakness is the #1 predictor of falls in adults over 60. A clinical trial at Nagoya University followed 215 participants aged 60 to 85 for 12 months. Half practiced this hold daily, while the other half did conventional hip exercises with movement. The isometric group showed 42% greater improvement in hip stability. Even more impressive, they reported being able to walk longer distances without fatigue and felt more confident on uneven surfaces. Here's how to perform it. Stand beside a sturdy chair or countertop with your hand resting lightly on the surface. Don't grip tightly. You want to use it only for balance, not to hold yourself up. Lift your outside leg just a few inches off the ground. You're not trying to kick high or stretch far, just lift your foot about 3 to 4 inches. Here's where the magic happens. Once your foot is off the ground, press your standing leg into the floor as hard as you can. Imagine you're trying to push the floor away from you. At the same time, engage your hip muscles to hold your lifted leg perfectly still. You should feel tension building in your standing hip, your glutes, and the muscles along the side of your pelvis. Hold for 15 seconds while breathing steadily. Then lower your leg, rest for 5 seconds, and repeat on the same side 2 more times before switching. The key is maintaining perfect alignment. Your standing leg should be straight but not locked. Your hips should be level. One side shouldn't be higher than the other. Your core should be engaged to prevent leaning to either side. Japanese elders often practice this while waiting for water to boil or during commercial breaks. The beauty of isometric exercises is they can be done anywhere without special equipment. Over time, you can increase difficulty by reducing how much you rely on the chair. Eventually, you might hold with just one finger touching the surface. This also activates the gluteus medius muscle on the side of your hip that prevents your pelvis from dropping when you walk. A weak gluteus medius causes that characteristic waddle many older adults develop. Strengthening it helps you walk with a smooth, confident gait that takes stress off your knees and lower back. Hold 3, the door frame, chest opener. The third hold targets an area most people completely ignore until it causes serious problems, your chest muscles. This isometric stretch lengthens the chest muscles while strengthening the opposing muscles in your upper back. Japanese physical therapists have used this technique for decades to combat the negative effects of modern posture. A study in the Journal of Bodywork and Movement Therapies examined how this affected adults with chronic shoulder pain. After 6 weeks of daily practice, participants experienced a 53% reduction in pain levels and 37% improvement in shoulder range of motion. The researchers concluded the isometric component was essential because it not only stretched tight muscles, but also strengthened weak ones simultaneously. Stand in a doorway with feet about shoulder width apart. Raise your arms so your elbows are at shoulder height and bend them at 90 degrees. Place your forearms and palms flat against the door frame on either side. Your body should form a shape like a goalpost. Step forward with one foot so your chest moves slightly through the doorway. You should feel a gentle stretch across your chest and the front of your shoulders. Once you feel this stretch, stop moving and begin the hold. Press your forearms firmly into the door frame as if you're trying to push the walls apart. At the same time, squeeze your shoulder blades together and hold everything perfectly still. Your muscles are working against an immovable object, creating tremendous tension without any movement. Hold for 20 seconds while breathing deeply and evenly. The breathing is particularly important because you're opening up your chest cavity and allowing your lungs to expand more fully. After 20 seconds, step back, release the tension, and rest for 10 seconds. Repeat 3 more times for a total of 4 rounds. Japanese elders often practice this multiple times throughout the day, especially after activities that involve reaching forward like cooking, gardening, or using a computer. This counteracts all the forward-leaning postures modern life demands. Research found the average person spends over 7 hours per day in a forward flexed position. This constant forward posture shortens chest muscles and weakens the upper back, creating a painful cycle. The isometric nature breaks that cycle by addressing both problems at once. You're actively stretching shortened chest muscles while simultaneously contracting weakened back muscles. This dual action is why isometric holds are so much more effective than passive stretching alone. A passive stretch just lengthens muscle. An isometric hold lengthens while building strength, creating lasting changes in how your body holds itself throughout the day. Hold 2, the seated knee press. The second most important hold targets the muscles surrounding your knee joints. This is deceptively simple but incredibly powerful for building the stability and strength that keeps you mobile and independent. Knee pain is one of the most common complaints among adults over 50, and this addresses the root cause rather than masking symptoms. A landmark study from the University of Tokyo examined 340 adults with mild to moderate knee osteoarthritis. Those who performed this daily for 16 weeks showed a 49% reduction in pain compared to just 18% in the control group. They also demonstrated 38% improvement in walking speed and 27% increase in stair climbing ability. These are real functional improvements that translate directly to quality of life. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported and feet flat on the floor. Your knees should be bent at approximately 90 degrees. Straighten one leg out in front of you until it's almost parallel with the floor. You don't need to lock your knee completely straight. A slight bend is actually better for joint health. Once your leg is extended, point your toes toward the ceiling and engage your thigh muscles as hard as you can. Imagine you're trying to push your heel away from your body while simultaneously pulling your kneecap up toward your hip. This creates an isometric contraction that activates the quadriceps muscles without any joint movement. Hold for 10 seconds while breathing normally. Then lower your leg slowly and rest for 5 seconds. Repeat 4 more times on the same leg before switching. The total time for both legs is only about 3 minutes, but the benefits are profound. Japanese elders often practice this while sitting at the dinner table, watching their grandchildren play, or relaxing in the evening. The seated position makes it accessible for people of all fitness levels, including those who have difficulty standing for extended periods. As you progress, you can increase the hold time to 15 seconds and eventually 20. Some add a small ankle weight to increase challenge, but this isn't necessary for excellent results. This works so effectively because it targets all 4 heads of the quadriceps muscle group simultaneously. These muscles are responsible for straightening your knee and supporting your body weight when you stand. The hold also strengthens the tendons and ligaments around the knee joint. A study found that isometric exercises increased tendon stiffness by 23% over 12 weeks. Stiffer tendons might sound bad, but they're actually more stable and less prone to injury, like the difference between a loose rubber band and a tight one. Hold 1, the wall sit with breathing. The most important hold practiced by Japanese elders is a modified version of the classic wall sit combined with a specific breathing technique. Researchers at Tokyo University called it the single most effective isometric exercise for promoting longevity and preventing falls. The study followed 520 adults over 60 for 3 years and found that those who practiced this daily had a 63% lower risk of falling. They also showed 41% better balance scores and could stand from a seated position 2 seconds faster on average. 2 seconds might not sound like much, but in fall prevention research, that speed difference is considered clinically significant. This targets virtually every muscle in your lower body simultaneously: quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and even your deep core stabilizers. But the breathing component adds an extra dimension most Western exercise programs completely miss. Stand with your back against a smooth wall. Walk your feet out about 18 inches from the wall and position them hip-width apart. Slowly slide your back down the wall until your knees are bent at approximately 130 degrees. This is not as deep as a traditional wall sit. Japanese practitioners specifically recommend this shallower angle because it provides maximum muscle activation while minimizing joint stress. Your thighs should be about halfway between standing and parallel to the floor. Once you're in position, press your entire back firmly into the wall. Your shoulders, mid-back, and lower back should all maintain contact. Now begin the breathing protocol. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds while maintaining the position. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. This extended exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which reduces stress hormones and lowers blood pressure during the exercise. Continue this breathing pattern while holding the wall sit for a total of 60 seconds. When you first start, you might only manage 30 or 40 seconds before your legs begin shaking. That's perfectly normal. Rest for 30 seconds, then repeat 2 more times. The goal is to build up to 3 sets of 60-second holds with controlled breathing throughout. Japanese elders typically practice this once in the morning and once in the evening. The morning session activates leg muscles for daily activities, while the evening session helps release accumulated tension and promotes better sleep. Research found that participants who did evening isometric exercises reported 22% better sleep quality compared to those who exercised only in the morning. This works on multiple systems at once. The contraction builds muscular strength and endurance. The wall contact improves proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. The breathing trains your cardiovascular system to remain calm under physical stress. The combination creates what Japanese practitioners call integrated resilience. Your body learns to function as a coordinated whole rather than a collection of separate parts. A study found that wall sits performed with controlled breathing reduced resting heart rate by an average of 7 beats per minute over 8 weeks. Lower resting heart rate is associated with longer lifespan and better cardiovascular health. This combination produced cardiovascular benefits similar to moderate aerobic exercise, but without the joint impact or injury risk. That's why this earned the #1 position. It provides comprehensive benefits for strength, balance, cardiovascular health, and stress reduction all in one simple movement that takes less than 5 minutes per day. These 5 holds represent centuries of Japanese wisdom backed by modern scientific research. The seated wall press corrects your posture and strengthens your upper back. The standing hip anchor builds the hip stability that prevents falls. The door frame chest opener releases tension and improves breathing. The seated knee press protects your knees and maintains mobility. And the wall sit with breathing ties everything together into a comprehensive system for longevity and independence. The beauty of these exercises is their accessibility. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to count reps or worry about proper form during complex movements. You simply hold a position and breathe. Start with just one of these holds today. Pick the one that addresses your biggest concern, whether that's posture, hip stability, knee pain, or overall strength. Practice it consistently for 2 weeks before adding another to your routine. Within a month, you could be doing all 5 in less than 15 minutes per day. Within 3 months, you'll likely notice significant improvements in how you move, how you feel, and how confident you are in your physical abilities. Remember that consistency matters more than intensity. A gentle hold performed every day will produce better results than an intense session done once a week. The Japanese elders who live past 100 didn't achieve their remarkable health through occasional bursts of effort. They achieved it through daily practice of simple movements performed with intention and patience. Your body is capable of more than you might think. Sometimes it just needs the right kind of attention, the kind that honors where you are now while gently building toward where you want to be. Which of these 5 holds are you most excited to try first? Have you ever tried isometric exercises before? And if so, what changes did you notice? Share your experiences in the comments below. I read them personally and learned something from every conversation. Thank you for being here and for taking your strength seriously. That commitment is what makes all the difference.